Prince William has finally snapped. Enough is enough. He has told friends he will strip Meghan Markle of the HRH title.
Zoom in here and it says, with the compliments of Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Sussex. That is a title that was stripped from her when she and Harry made their whole racism debacle and left the UK, left their royal duties, and moved to the US to bug all of us.
It seems like that lady is a temptress. She's a siren. She's lured him into the rocks.
According to a source, here's the quote: Prince William plans to flex his muscles and wipe his wayward brother, Prince Harry, and his power-hungry wife, Meghan, from the history books, it says.
Enough for Bill Simmons over at the Ringer podcast, which was acquired by Spotify, to call Harry and Meghan, quote, a fucking grifter on his latest podcast. Here's what he had to say.
I wish I had been involved in the Meghan and Harry leave Spotify negotiation. The grifters.
Prince William is reportedly formulating a plan to finally strip Prince Harry and Meghan Markle of their HRH titles.
The only thing HRH stands for in association with Meghan Markle is her ruthless homewreckerness, I guess.
This woman looks to me like a malignant narcissist. This woman has zero self-awareness.
Beast has reported that King Charles is turning a blind eye, but King William won't.
There are government employees that are still waiting for paychecks, back paychecks months ago.
Yeah.
You know, what are the odds that they're going to get paid quickly for this Harry and Meghan visit?
Wanting to exploit their royal titles, I think it stinks. And I think what King Charles should do, he should just strip them of the titles. Let them go off and be, celebrities. That's fine. But don't do it in the name of our royal family.
Oh, my God, that hat. Oh, God. He's so hot. Look at him. Isn't Prince Harry? She bagged a fox.
But this has been Meghan Markle's MO from the beginning. She wants all of the privileges that go along with an identity, but she doesn't want any of the responsibility. She doesn't want to do any of the work. She wants the tiara. She doesn't want the public service.
Nobody talks like that and nobody acts like that, because that's weird behavior that we're seeing from both of these people if we're supposed to be thinking under the impression that they're being authentic.
Markle and Prince Harry may no longer be working royals, but their recent trip to Nigeria looked very much like a royal tour of their own.
Prince William will strip Prince Harry and Meghan Markle of their HRH titles when he becomes king.
There are growing calls to strip Harry and Meghan of their royal titles. The New York Post is reporting that locals in the UK say enough is enough, especially after Prince Harry's disastrous BBC interview, which aired
for hours since the release of Harry and Meghan's bombshell Netflix documentary, and the papers have been reacting overnight. Oh boy, have they been reacting. The pair are dominating the front pages. One Conservative MP said that he is planning to bring forward legislation in an attempt to strip the Duke and Duchess of Sussex of their...
It didn't start with a bang. It started with a whisper in Westminster, not gossip, not some social media stunt. This was serious. Something big was brewing. And then it hit a real motion inside the House of Lords, the oldest powerhouse of politics, not about drama but legacy.
Is still using her HRH title despite agreeing to drop the title when the Sussexes left royal duties. How is Will planning to deal with this?
This wasn't public outrage anymore. This was payback from the inside. Meghan Markle, still Duchess of Sussex, by title could soon be the Duchess of Nothing, because the British establishment isn't just watching, it's moving against her. No scandal spark, there's no tabloid scoop, just silence, and a whisper that spread through the halls of Westminster like fire.
Meghan Markle has been very brazen recently with the use of the HRH. Now, royal fans will know in 2020, during the negotiations for Harry and Meghan to leave royal duties, it was agreed with Queen Elizabeth that they will not use the HRH title. That is a long-standing precedent, and there's good reason for it. Basically, the HRH is only given to work.
That whisper, it's now a thunderclap. For the first time since Megxit, Britain's aristocracy has officially declared war on Meghan Markle. The House of Lords just tabled a real petition, not symbolic, not for show, to strip her of the Duchess of Sussex title for good. What people once called a fantasy is now on the floor of Parliament. The petition's been received, debated, and it's shaking the foundation of everything Meghan thought she could hold on to.
So the fact that she's continued to use this HRH when they've been instructed not to, I think is absolutely infuriating in Buckingham Palace. And there was a very interesting source inside close to the Prince of Wales who spoke to the Daily Beast.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that one. This is why it's so nice to not have makeup on.
Also is pretending that she's crying. Like, we zoomed in just to see there isn't a tear in sight. Look Look at this. Where's the tear?
I appreciate what hard work looks like. I like working hard.
Well, according to their tax documents, they work 1 hour a week.
And Meghan's just accepting all these compliments. I know I'm great, aren't I?
Sucks.
Are you joking?
It's
This
bad.
is terrible.
You suck.
You suck.
Just talking nonsense. It's stupid.
I've never seen someone that struggles to just give us like one strip of authenticity.
And Mal is crying on podcast signing gift with a royal title she doesn't even own anymore. And one by one, the people who work for her, they keep quitting. But behind all the headlines and fake tears are lawsuits, public backlash, and whispers of a shady hidden past. Let's be real, her true title might as well be the Duchess of Drama.
But this has been Meghan Markle's MO from the beginning. She wants all of the privileges that go along with an identity, but she doesn't want any of the responsibility. She doesn't want to do any of the work. She wants the tiara. She doesn't want the public service.
And here's the wild part people online say Gayle King, yes, the talk show host, is more of a real astronaut than Meghan Markle is authentic. Let that sink in.
I love that your eyes are sparkling right now. You know, Meghan, how are you today? Which, by the way, I just have to say, yes.
Enjoy them.
I forgot to have fun. You're right.
That 2-hour podcast that I just had to sit through with Jamie Keen-Lima, who is also very cut off from the rest of the world.
Meghan sat down with Jamie Kern-Lima, a self-made billionaire and motivational figure, for a podcast that promised emotional honesty. But what viewers got something completely different. The host was beyond cringy, and honestly, she came off even faker than Meghan pretending to cook on her Netflix show. Just watch the clip. Meghan's using her famous friends like props, hyping herself up on her own podcast just to boost her ego.
The Jamie Kern-Lima show.
Her show is unlike any I've ever done.
A revelation. When you listen, it feels like a hug, but your brain and your spirit and your heart is like, wow.
When I look into Jamie's eyes, I feel like I am on some other cosmic level with her.
I could see the light around her. She's infused with
Meghan dabbed her eyes and acted like she was choking up while talking about the pressure she faces, but viewers noticed something strange. There were no actual tears, just a performance of crying in social media. They didn't let it slide for a second. Critics instantly dug up an old clip where Meghan laughed about being able to cry on command, bragging that she can squeeze out a tear in seconds. That resurfaced video hit like a bomb, and suddenly her breakdown looked more like a Hollywood rehearsal than a real moment.
We're at Soho House, Toronto, which is basically TIG headquarters for me. I write my stories here. I take my meetings here. And it's kind of amazing because all over the world, if I'm traveling, Soho House can still be home base.
You'll make yourself cry. Oh, I can do that so well. Oh my God, it's crazy. You're like, Meghan, one tear, left eye, go. Give me 3 seconds.
That clip resurfaced immediately, and suddenly her podcast hairs looked more like acting than emotion.
When you were saying, like, do you want to just do like cozies and no makeup? I like the idea of like, okay, great. Let's let them see us.
Nobody talks like that and nobody acts like that, because that's weird behavior that we're seeing from both of these people if we're supposed to be thinking under the impression that they're being authentic.
Just when the noise started to die down, body language expert Scott Rouse jumped in, and what he said only made things worse. He pointed out Meghan's constant blinking, the weird facial expressions and gestures that didn't match her words. These nonverbal leaks, he explained, often showed discomfort or even deception. And the moment Meghan talked about her emotional pain, her voice cracked, but her face stayed oddly calm, no tension, no struggle. That mismatch left people asking, the obverse, was this real? Heartbreak, or just another Oscar-worthy performance?
Do you think you'll be married forever?
Yes.
I have a letter.
He's also a fox. If you haven't noticed, my husband's very, very handsome. But his heart is even more beautiful.
Something's up here. See that little shoulder shrug when she said yes?
Yes, yes,
Did you hear how high her voice was when she said yes?
yes.
When we're stressed, our larynx closes up a little bit and our voice tone gets a little bit higher. That's why the pitch of the yes is so high.
She claims she writes emails to her kids every single night so they can read them when they grow up. Sound sweet in theory. But let's be honest, no kid wants to read thousands of bedtime emails from her mom. They're not that bored.
But before I go to bed almost every night, I email them.
Wow.
They will end up at one point in their life, maybe when they're 16 or when they're 18, that I say, here's an email that I've been keeping for you.
Because that's really what you want when you're 18. 40,000 emails, Maureen, from your mother.
These emails are so that when my children are of age, they can come to me and say, oh my God, you loved us so much. It's me, me, me.
During the podcast, they showed a photo of a gift basket Meghan had given Sweetwright, but then came the twist attached was a handwritten card signed Her Royal Highness One Problem. She's not allowed to use that title anymore, not in public, not in private, not at all, so why is she still clinging to it like it's her personal brand?
Zoom in here and it says, with the compliments of Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Sussex. That is a title that was stripped from her when she and Harry made their whole racism debacle and left the UK, left their royal duties, and moved to the US to bug all of us. She's using it in private with her friends. That's even weirder than if they were still trying to milk the titles in public. That is just like all the confirmation that I need that this woman is just obsessed with being a royal, that is all this was all about. And that she's angry that she screwed the pooch by claiming racism and basically getting kicked out of the family. She just can't give up the HRH titles that quickly. Like, this is literally what she has always wanted.
Not a trending tweet, not a YouTube rant, a formal motion in Parliament tabled by Lord Simon Lee, backed by both Conservatives and Labour. This is a series of petitions, unprecedented, citing clear charges, breaking diplomatic rules, mocking royal status, and using the title to make money. The language brutal. Meghan is accused of cheapening a title meant to honour the crown. This isn't royal drama anymore, it's legal. Parliament is stepping in to do what Buckingham Palace refuses to bring consequences.
Disaster opportunists, which is exactly right. Disaster tourists.
There are government employees that are still waiting for paychecks, back paychecks months ago.
Yeah.
You know, what are the odds that they're going to get paid quickly for this Harry and Meghan visit?
Like, talking about people who are always on their game, especially when it comes to trying to drum up support and get content for their next Netflix project. The Duke and Duchess of Montecito, Harry and Meghan, have gone on let's say a quasi-royal tour of Nigeria. They certainly haven't been meeting
the final straw. That private Nigeria trip, Meghan and Harry showed up in royal-style outfits, met with top military and political leaders, and gave speeches as if they were still working royals. Let's be clear, this was a royal tour in disguise, photo ops, handshakes, and heritage talk, all without approval. Whitehall was furious at government, and the palace had no clue. That's why the House of Lords called it what it was, an authorized diplomacy that risks dragging the crown into international messes.
For hours since the release of Harry and Meghan's bombshell Netflix documentary, and the papers have been reacting overnight. Oh boy, have they been reacting. The pair are dominating the front pages. One Conservative MP said that he is planning to bring forward legislation in an attempt to strip the Duke and Duchess of Sussex of...
The House of Lords isn't acting alone. They're riding a wave of public anger. A May 2025 YouGov poll shows a massive 77% of Brits want Meghan stripped of the Duchess of Sussex title. That's not just a majority, it's a landslide, the strongest anti-Sussex backlash ever recorded.
Changed my mind on things, but I don't want them to be stripped of it, but I think I now understand they're trying to do, I think that would really be validated if they said, this institution isn't for us. We love our family, but we would like to hand these back. And I think that would be incredible.
Even bigger than the Oprah fallout, that's how high the backlash is. Voters from all sides agree titles aren't fashion accessories. They stand for due to tradition. And the Constitution, even Harry isn't safe. 61% say he should lose his titles too, especially his Royal Highness. But for now, the spotlight's on Meghan, the face of controversy, cash grabs, and royal embarrassment. Remember, that Beyoncé moment, you know I'm Sussex now, that line didn't age. Well, and it's part of what turned public frustration into full-blown institutional action.
Do you think they might be?
They could be. I mean, it really depends on the next part of the documentary and what it shows, doesn't it? You know,
because we haven't had the shock
factor yet. I feel really sad about it, to be honest. I feel sad that we've got to this point. I think they could have made a lot of differences.
I wish we could.
At Beyoncé's Cowboy Carter concert in LA, a viral clip showed Meghan laughing, shouting, "You know I'm Sussex now." She even told Mindy Kaling to call her Meghan Sussex. To fans, it sounded like a joke, but to the House of Lords, it was a last straw proof. She treats her royal title like a punchline, not an honor. The petition doesn't hold back. It calls a moment a crash trivialization of a title meant to represent the crown, not a personal brand.
It would not be a good move because we need to try and cool the temperature. We need to try and kind of understand what is this all about. And that was my big thing with watching 3 hours of it last night. 3 hours. I thought,
won't get them back, Kate.
I thought, what are they trying to say? And I wasn't even quite sure. What did they say to you?
UK legal experts now say Meghan's public use of a title might break the 1917 Royal Titles Act, and which bans royals from using titles for fame or profit. The Lord saw the video, so did Whitehall. Their verdict: if Meghan wants to be an influencer, she can't be a duchess too. In this petition, it's just a start. Meghan Markle's royal fairy tale isn't just fading, it's being crushed by her own brand machine.
Life, they've moved to America, they've got their house, they've got their kids over there, so they're not really part of our...
Yeah. I don't think it's even that they don't deserve it. It's just they don't want to live it. So if you don't want to live it, then what's the point?
It will make what they're saying more authentic, because I think it is authentic, but you can't say all of that and then keep those titles.
Yeah.
This isn't tabloid drama. It's coming from the heart of British power. The monarchy stayed silent. The king refused to act. But the House of Lords, they've spoken, and loudly for Meghan Markle, Duchess of Sussex, may soon be a title history takes back. Her defenders cry sexism and racism. But this isn't personal, it's constitutional. The Lords don't deal in gossip, they deal in law precedent and royal protocol. And now they're locked onto Meghan's title bullets. 5 through 8 of the petition lay it out the full. List of her alleged violations, one of the most damaging, her repeated breaches of royal communications protocol.
As an actress, and I remember when I was in a relationship years ago, everything I did and said, whether I cried, whether I joked, this boyfriend of mine would say, well, you're an actress.
As if you were fake.
So I think as if it was fake.
Like that.
So I feel that she's also a bit awkward and watching everything that she's saying, so that doesn't play well to people. But
This isn't some outdated rule. It's a centuries-old code that bars royals from making rogue statements, especially abroad. Meghan broke it. Her Archetypes podcast was named directly in the Lord debate. She used her royal status to push private projects and made serious claims about her child's treatment, her mental health, even accusing a royal of racism. The palace stayed quiet, but Parliament won't. The Lords argue that Meghan's public comments made while still title didn't just stir drama, they caused diplomatic embarrassment.
3 white siblings and then 2 mixed race siblings that I got to know later in life. All I am is a country bumpkin from Kent.
Yeah.
I don't know any different, and I didn't grow up thinking about that difference. And when you looked at it from her point of view, she said...
And it didn't just stir headlines. It damaged the monarchy's reputation across the Commonwealth. This isn't about free speech. It's about using royal privilege to throw punches at an institution that legally can't fight back. A petition goes further, blasting Meghan and Harry for blatantly turning a royal title into a business. Their Spotify and Netflix deals weren't just content. They were sold under the Sussex brand No Subtlety. The 2022 Netflix docu-series literally opens with the Duke and Duchess of Sussex.
I got if I wasn't Dame Kelly Holmes double Olympic champion based on the colour of my skin, as opposed to people understanding my cultural background. I don't know any different than being a Kent white girl. From what I see and what I know, because everyone around me was white. This is a normal environment.
Meghan Markle turned her royal title into a personal brand, from Netflix shows to trademarking Sussex Royal Parliament, calls it exploitation, not freedom. Her Nigeria trip media blitz, and Oprah claims blurred royal duty with celebrity fame sparking outrage. Now the House of Lords says enough. They're moving to strip her title, accusing her of dragging British nobility through the mud for profit. While the monarchy stayed silent, the government is taking action. This isn't about gossip, it's illegal. Battle to protect royal dignity. Meghan wanted it out, but what she left behind is now on trial.